Hello, my name is Megan O'Russell.
And my name is Christopher Russell, and welcome back to Page by Page, writing the book in real time. And wait, hold on, let me check my notes. Yes, we are, in fact, at chapter 22 of Diary of a Blood-Marked Werewolf. Sketchbook is way in the past. Who even knows what the hell happened?
Yeah, but we're actually, actively working on it again, because, the Kickstarter is, go in motion.
I know,
Which
right?
means that we can finally actually put the book up for pre-order soon on, retailers, which means I can begin the process of the genuine fucking book launch. It's gonna have been 18 months since I started this book before it even goes up for more than that before it goes up for pre-order.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, all right, so we have to kind of keep the intro brief today after I whine about that because it is a sizey chapter and there are things to talk about.
There are absolutely things
we
to
have
talk
some
about.
Stuff to talk
New
about.
world lore, old world lore that is making a reappearance. So yeah, very exciting.
Okay,
so go ahead.
You can have 1 minute to
I
update
can have
first.
1 minute? Okay.
And then we'll do cheers and then we'll jump in.
Perfect. 1 minute to update. Really not a lot to say. I've been doing a lot of stuff at Universal lately. My voice is a little so that's going to be fun. But I think that my most favorite thing that has happened recently is we got to go to the Gaylord Palms last night, which was really, really fun to do a little bit of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because there's a shortage of Christmas in Orlando. There's not. We just haven't had time. So what's your minute update, Megan?
Okay. So I had to make a painting for Chris. This is a visual. If you're on the podcast version, if you're on the audio version, then I'll post this on social media. So I had to make Chris a painting for the plastered owl.
You have to make me a painting.
I did because there was no swag and you needed an opening present.
I love it.
So this is the one I made
and it's
for
still
him.
going to be a tattoo.
But then I had more canvases and I was like, that's soothing. So then I made one for my mom. And people are always asking me well, can't you make your own book dragon sticker? And I am not an artist. But I decided if I'm going to do this as a hobby,
I disagree.
Then this is my first dragon. So there's the
good.
cat. I call this one Apex Predator because the cat's like, I kill you, dragon. And dragon's like, you right. So that's the new hobby. So if you see them on social media, my goal is to make a sticker-worthy dragon for Comic-Con season. So this was my first draft dragon. It's only the third painting I've done ever.
It's insane.
So
show that again. Show that again. Third painting
I feel proud of it.
Third painting ever. She's like, I'm not really visually artistic. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I'm not, because this is just it's layering.
I get it. It's not sure.
On a stencil on a. Well,
yeah,
no, I don't use
I was about
stencils.
to say you're not using stencils.
Well, no, but I'm shit at sketching because drawing in dimension is hard.
Right.
But painting it by doing here's layers of sky, here's texture on wood, that's so much fucking easier than doing with a pencil.
Can somebody please explain to her how that's still visually artistic? Yes, no, it's a different medium. I'm not saying you're some wonderful figure drawer or anything, but the way that you play with color is really cool. Your storytelling in the painting is really neat. Well, there's some interesting lines and curves, and
Thank you for being a proud
comment. You're welcome.
But so I have a dragon goal. I want to be able to draw a really, really good dragon. And I have 6 months to do it. So I feel like I can have one really good dragon.
Coming to you this con season. Because then I have to figure out how to digitize all of that and get it uploaded. But we'll figure it out.
We're going to hire somebody to do that.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
We're going to ship that dragon to them and make some other person do with it. That's what we're going to do.
Okay, so then that was, I think, more than a minute, Megan Elizabeth. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, but you asked a question.
I did. So why don't you give us our previously on? Do you remember what happened last week?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Hold on, you got something there on your facey. I got it. Okay, you're good. Good job.
Previously on Diary of a Blood-Marked Werewolf. After the Ella falls down field day catastrophe, she is the...
Ella fall down.
Ella fall down field day catastrophe. She is the talk of the school, as Clara's death was just pronounced a murder, and then Ella almost died, all on the same ill-fated day. Ella goes to have lunch with her friend's parents and gets a little bit too much parenting and escapes. Yeah, that brings us fully up to date.
Or so she thinks.
Or does she?
We neglected to introduce the beer of the week, and I've just been sitting here sipping, enjoying. So this is one that you will be no stranger to. This is St. Bernardus Christmas Ale. It is so good.
Nom nom.
Cheers.
Okay, let's dive in.
Dive in.
There's just some things. There are some world building things in this chapter that get referred to that we want to talk about. So
yes, there absolutely are. So yeah, that's right. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow. Would you just...
And I still have a full cup of coffee in front of me.
Pray for Mojo. All right, here we go.
And they're tapering me off the steroids.
Thank God. Diary of a Blood-Marked Werewolf Book 2 in Laureldale by Megan O. Russell. Chapter 22, Excess. The fallout from the tailgate flight, as in our dodging the fuck out of the parking lot lunch from hell, would have pissed my mother off so fucking badly. But my Sybil survival training never covered what the fuck to do when the witch's house you've been living in gets swarmed by your human friend's parents who show up armed with a fuck ton of food and full force determination to do a fucking wellness check on the neglected fucking orphan. The guest list for the extravaganza? Paige and Jason, obviously, since they'd been living in the Etherean fucking house for almost 2 fucking weeks. Sydney and Andre, who'd arrived at Kate's 5 minutes after Jason, Paige, and me, bearing the first load of transported tailgate bounty. And Mrs. Davis, Mrs. Dupuis, and Mr. Paxman, who brought a second, larger wave of fucking food, complete with desserts that hadn't even been laid out for the original feast. Luckily, because why not cling to the sliver of good in this shitstorm, Mr. Davis stayed behind at the school to pack up the Davis Oasis. Mr. Paxman seemed more worried about Jason sleeping on Kate's couch, way too fucking small for the wall, than anything to do with me, and, other than a call from Jason's mom, the Archers hadn't interfered. Sheriff Archer hadn't even shown his fucking face in the immediate Ella Fall Down aftermath. See, I told you it was Ella Fall Down.
You're right, Ella Falls Down.
Right. Thank you. At least...
Enjoy it. That's the only one you get for the week.
Okay. Probably right. Sheriff Archer hadn't even shown his fucking face in the immediate Ella Fall Down aftermath. At least I don't think so. Shock ate the faces of the first responders. Sidebar, since I deleted this note, I love that imagery. Shock eating the faces of the people who come to your rescue.
Nom nom.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. At least I don't think so. Shock ate the faces of the first responders. The helpful numb of shock that had waned too far to soothe the stress of the human invasion. What else do we think we need? Mrs. Dupuis tapped her pen on her notepad, surveying the clothes laid out on my bed. I'm really fine, Mrs. Dupuis, I said. Hun, Mrs. Dupuis turned toward Paige's bed, where I sat, focusing on not breathing too deeply, and frowned, her face becoming the same exquisite expression of a thoughtful search for kind words I'd seen from Sydney. I'm not trying to say you haven't been through a real winter before, but winters in the Adirondacks are a special kind of cruel, and with the storms we've already had this fall, I think Laureldale is in for a brutal year. Yay. 1 pair of mittens isn't going to be enough, Mrs. Dupuis said, and neither is 4 pairs of warm socks if you don't want to do laundry every few days. Yes, ma'am. I didn't fight her reasonable logic or argue as she started inspecting the fabric of all my shirts. Andre's head appeared in my bedroom door. No dietary restrictions? Nope. I didn't add, but I can feed my fucking self. Digging through my clothes and food prepping to hunker down for a fucking apocalypse kept the humans on the first floor. The human safety zone, where everything would be perfectly fucking fine with no supernatural incidents to fuck up my day. Well, this particular part of my day. None of these jeans are winter weight fabric. Mrs. Dupuis shook her head, adding to her list. My legs don't get very cold. She didn't glance up. And you need a thicker coat. I've got some sweaters I can wear under a warm hat too. Do you have a scarf? No, ma'am. Scarves are fucking choke hazards. She added the strangulation option to her list. What else? I really don't need anything. Except your absence. Ella. She tucked her pen behind her ear, going back to her Sydney-matching frown for a split second before flipping to a conspiratorial grin. Sydney's outgrown shopping days with Mom, but if you come along, I bet she'll let me grab her for a whole day. We can do brunch, a shopping spree, go to the salon. I couldn't tell how much of her excitement was real and therefore didn't know how bad to feel as I fumbled for a good way to say owning more shit just makes packing to skip town harder. I'm not a shopping person. Not too bad, Ella. Oh, come on. Mrs. Dupuis' grin didn't falter. You don't need to bring a cent. All my treat. It's not about money. My parents didn't leave me shit-ass broke, you fuck. Malls are just really overwhelming. Perfect! She clapped her fucking hands. Everywhere I have in mind is standalone or boutique. No mall chaos involved. Shit. That's great, but, hun, even if you want to fight me on needing more warm socks, you'll need a dress for the first frost ball. Mrs. Dupuis laid her hand on my shoulder, giving it a gentle squeeze. When life gives you shit, sometimes the most defiant thing you can do is sparkle, and you are going to sparkle at that ball. Quote of the year, ladies and gentlemen, by Megan O'Russell. When life gives you shit, sometimes the most defiant thing you can do is sparkle, and you are going to sparkle at that ball. No, nothing to add to that? Okay. I lost the will to oppose kindness. Thanks, Mrs. Dupuy. We are going to have so much fun. She whipped her pen back out from behind her ear. So that's dress, shoes, accessories for first frost. Oh, what about the widow's fete? Is there something I'm supposed to have? I asked. Widow's fete is covered, Paige called from the kitchen, to which Megan said, eavesdropper. No? I love how you wrote it, and I read that, and you're like, eavesdropper. It's like, didn't you know this was coming?
Yeah, but she's such an eavesdropper.
She is such an eavesdropper. Widow's fete is covered, Paige called from the kitchen. It is? I tossed through recent conversations, trying to remember ever discussing widow's fete clothing with anyone. Are you sure, Paige? Mrs. Dupuy frowned at the open doorway like she knew Paige would appear. Positive. Paige popped into view. We've got a fitting lined up. We do? I asked. Does Kate have a Tupperware stash hidden anywhere? Paige breezed right past my question. I can check. I stood, carefully not wincing in pain. Nope. I stood, carefully not wincing as pain stabbed through my ribs and my leg did an impression of electrified jello, seizing the container hunt as an escape from Mrs. Dupuy. Andre appeared behind Paige with an apology-dusted smile. It can be anything freezer safe. Mom started meal prepping, so there's a lot to store. Fuck you fucking ass fuckers. She doesn't have to do that. Heat prickled in my eyes as I slid past Paige and Andre and into the kitchen. Besides the leftovers from the tailgate feast, more food than I knew Kate had in the house filled the counters, table, stove, and from the luscious cheesy scent, the oven, too, with more to come since Sydney sat at the table shelling edamame, Mrs. Davis was still adding shit to a massive steaming pot on the stove, and Andre had a stack of unsliced carrots by his cutting board station. Megan, I need to take a drink real quick for my throat. Why don't you explain what the computer corrected edamame to?
Edema.
And what did you do about this?
I was like, do those? I had to stare at it for a really long time.
Yeah. So I came to a document that was shelling edemas. And I was like, hey, what? What? Oh, edamame, which technically we do mispronounce over here in the U.S. It is, I believe, edamame. But
Scrivener was like, no, fuck you, this is right. And I was like, fuck you, I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
But I had turned off my internet, so I just went with what it said.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I turn off my internet.
Oh, so you don't get distractions?
No, so I only have their spell check on Scrivener, which is shitty spell check.
Then why do you turn off your internet?
So I don't get distracted.
Well, that's what I said, so that you don't get those distractions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then, yes. That's why you turn off your
I
internet.
didn't notice you were talking.
Oh, God. All right.
I was talking.
Marriage. Hashtag marriage.
I love you.
I love you too. I didn't notice you were talking. Do you still live here? Feed me. I think that's pretty...
But I was really sure it was wrong, but the program was like, fuck you, this is right. And I had a migraine, and I was like, F, you're sure, man? Like, we mispronounce a lot of shit in this country. Like,
yes, we do.
I can see how that could possibly be translated that way, and I'm not turning my Wi-Fi back on.
Besides the leftovers from the tailgate feast, more food than I knew Kate had in the house filled the counters, table, stove, and from the luscious cheesy scent, the oven, too, with more to come since Sydney sat at the table shelling edamame, Mrs. Davis was still adding shit to a massive steaming pot on the stove, and Andre had a stack of unsliced carrots by his cutting board station. Wow. The word came out more shocked than grateful, but Mrs. Davis jumped past any offense. Based on Paige's accounting of your current diet, someone needs to help with your meals. Mrs. Davis waved her ladle, her words gaining speed, an extra edge sharpening her voice. Left to your own devices, every bit of produce in that fridge was doomed to rot. Teenagers need healthy meals, including vegetables, and 3 teens left without any guidance. Tish... Mrs. Dupuy didn't say anything else, just stood in the doorway, staring at Mrs. Davis, who stared right the fuck back for 5 anxiety-inducing seconds. Well, Mrs. Davis's voice creepily sweetened, we're prepping enough to get you through for a bit, and we'll figure out what comes after that. A faint, uh-oh, fluttered through my mind, but Sydney spun me toward the table, adding me to her edamame peeling party, saving me from the moms. Mrs. Dupuy cooed over the food before shunting Mrs. Davis into my bedroom to look at her shopping list, which required closing the door behind them, sending me into a tiny tailspin of certain doom as Panic promised they would discover something Etherean. A ridiculous fear, since Kate had me on such a tight-ass supernatural lockdown that my room was the most Etherean-purged space in the house, and the worst the Mrs. D's could find in there were the suspiciously bloody towels at the bottom of the hamper, which my fucked hand could easily explain. Sorry about our moms, Sydney kept her voice low. When the two of them latch onto something, they create a feedback loop of obsession. Fucking great. It's really kind of them to care. I grabbed a cold, fuckedly textured edamame pod, popping the precious 2 beans into a metal bowl. Can we talk about that for a second, about how edamame is kind of weirdly textured? It's like, why does this bean feel like sandpaper?
It almost feels like a living sea creature that you should not be touching because it's gonna fucking sting you.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit, but man, it's so good. I love edamame.
You are not staying on track with this chapter. Is it ADHD, dude?
I don't know. I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed as not having ADHD,
I know,
but we
but
talked about this.
Adjacent.
It
is like having undifferentiated autoimmune. Something in there is not fucking right.
I'm still pretty convinced I probably have it. It just was masked by other problems. Do you know what I mean? But what? I don't care. Whatever.
I don't know what sleigh ride your brain is on though, dude. Like. Okay, let's.
Okay, I had to do that.
Let's go back to.
It's really kind of them to care.
Yeah, and we're gonna try and stay on path, stay on target.
I'll do my best to be Red Leader. Wait, does he die? I don't even remember.
I think so.
Okay, whatever. Red 5, I think. Oh, no, wait. Is that Luke? God bless. Okay, we're going back. Ha. It's really kind of them to care.
You want to be Teal Leader. I think they're too stayed out of the bed. I think that they were still having snack time.
Hello, yes, I'm Chartreuse Leader. We're having tea.
Teal Leader, where are you? Wait, you guys left?
Yeah. That's like Violet Leader. I don't know. All right, just kind of out in the cosmos. It's really kind of them to care.
Basically, do not be a standard primary color if you want to survive Star Wars. Just don't do it. Correct.
It's really kind of them to care. I grabbed a cold, fuckedly textured edamame pod, which would be Green Leader, popping the precious 2 beans into a metal bowl. Just let us know if we need to fight them off, Sydney said. Andre scraped his sliced carrots into the steaming pot on the stove. We pushed them to bond and created the monsters in the process. It's our responsibility to contain them. Babe, Sydney laughed under her breath, glancing toward my door. It's the truth, Andre said. Now you have to tell her the story. Paige scooted aside a casserole dish to make space on the table for her laptop. Our parents weren't happy with how much time we were spending together. Andre set his cutting board and knife beside the sink. So we made them sit through an hour-long presentation laying out our 5, 10, and 20-year plans. I laughed, enjoying the warmth of humor banishing another smudge of fear-wrought fatigue, realizing 3 seconds too late that Andre was not, in fact, kidding. That's really great, you guys. Sydney shrugged. Necessary overkill. Getting the kind of education both of us want is tough. Securing acceptance to the few programs that get him through med school and me through law school without ever having to go long distance is a massive undertaking that can't be left to chance. We needed our parents to understand the work we're willing to put into building the future we've chosen. Whatever it takes to stay together, Andre said. Pink crept into Sydney's cheeks. Which is why, Paige added an extra syllable to the why. I point to those two every time someone says I'm taking on too much. Measured against the Dupuy-Davis power couple, I'm an absolute slacker. What's 4 levels below absolute slacker? Because that's where I land. I shelled the last edamame pod. You're a good student that doesn't feel the ulcer-inducing need to collect academic awards, Sydney said. A very respectable standing. Thanks. I laughed, not letting myself hunt for an unintentional insult. And where I'd likely be if I hadn't fallen in love with someone who wants the same things as me. The pink in Sydney's cheeks crept down to her neck. I know how rare that is and how lucky we are to have found each other at all, let alone gotten together young enough to build the life we want from the ground up. I'm not letting that go. Never. Andre pressed a kiss to the top of her head. She reached up, knowing his hand would be there ready to lock fingers with hers as she leaned her head back, resting against him, eyes closed, a little smile of unattainable bliss curving her lips. Peace radiating from Andre's being as he looked down at the girl he'd planned a whole-ass future with. It would be disgusting if they weren't so damn right about being a perfect match. Paige pursed her lips, a poor attempt to hide her grin. We're absolutely awful, Sydney said, opening her mouth to continue on, not getting the chance. Bam! Ella! Both the sound and Kate's shout came from the front of the house. Shit! Paige leapt to her feet, snapping her laptop shut. She's here, Miss Blackwood. Jason's footsteps pounded toward the front door as I summoned the will to speak. I'm fine, Kate. The pain as I pushed myself to my feet proved I was not, in fact, fine, but anger-laced dread trumped pain's importance. I'm in the kitchen. Kate, Mr. Paxman said, but Kate buzzed past the unexpected human, coming straight for me. She opened her arms, reaching out like she might embrace her beloved ward, freezing and backing away before actually touching the source of all her fucked-up problems. Are you hurt? Kate scanned me feet up, her gaze stopping at my neck, her hands balling into fists. I got messages saying you fell and you didn't go to the hospital, but I was going to call you when your meeting ended at 4:30, Paige said. What? No. Kate's focus barely flicked to Paige before locking back on me. Did you hit your head? Did the sheriff... Kate... Mrs. Dupuy's calm yet assertive voice came from my bedroom fucking door. Kate looked that way, eyes widening as she, seemingly for the first time, noticed the human invasion in her home. Her jaw clenched as she took in the mid-meal prep mess. Well, shit. So nice to formally meet you. Mrs. Dupuy strode across the kitchen, reaching for Kate's hand, leaving Kate no socially acceptable option but to shake hands with the tight-smiled intruder. I'm Sydney's mother. I've been looking forward to speaking with you all afternoon. I snuck a peek at Sydney, whose flat-lipped, wide-eyed expression bumped the fuckedness-o-meter from well shit right to fuck, 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 fuck. I'm so sorry, Kate's voice teetered on polite. Why are you in my house? Because Ella needed a responsible adult, Mrs. Dupuy said, and you were nowhere to be found. Excuse me? Kate yanked her hand away from Mrs. Dupuy. Fuck shit, fuck shit. I'm Andre's mom. Mrs. Davis entered the ring. Why are either of you... Kate, come upstairs! Basically yelping, I cut Kate off. Calm, fuckface. It's been a really shitty day, and I just want to... Scream at you for not being there when I needed you? Break your face for bursting in pretending to be worried about me when we both know you don't want to be in the same fucking room as me? Laugh and fucking laugh because this is somehow my good option? Call Uncle Declan before he hears something and starts to worry. Keeping with the fucking theme of the day, Kate just stared at me, her silence lasting long enough for panic to quicken my already too quick heartbeat, waiting until a scream started building in my chest before finally fucking speaking. Sure, kiddo. We'll give him a call. I headed straight for the stairs, pretending I hadn't heard anything as Mrs. Davis said, We'll be right here when you're done, Kate. Keeping my gait as even as I could, gritting my teeth against the breath-stealing pain as I climbed the steps and headed straight into Kate's library, leaving the humans to their own fucking devices, and if that brought hell raining down on Kate's fucking head, so be it. Defiantly standing being a shit option, I sat in one of the two stuffed chairs near the fireplace before Kate could shoo me toward the spindleback chair in front of her desk so I could sit across her like I was a naughty pupil. The door clicked closed. I perched on the edge of my seat, watching Kate activate the runes to soundproof the room, using the preparatory silence to wind up for the moment she confirmed safety. Ella, what? Field day was awesome until my epically timed climb ended with my rope snapping and me falling 30 fucking feet. Kate gasped and tried to speak again, but fuck her. Of course, I'm not the one who ended up hurt. Caleb fucking caught me in front of everyone. Dozens of people saw it, including Jason and the climbing lady from the sheriff's office, both of whom also watched Caleb edge close enough to full fucking feral. There's no chance they didn't dive into the uncanny fucking valley, which means someone tried to kill me and Caleb took the damage. My shout bounced around the library as the festering truth settled in. I saw a flash on the rope just above me before it snapped. Someone used supernatural fuckery to try and kill me in front of humans, and the price for me not dying is Caleb getting marked as a freak. Kate clenched her hands into white-knuckled fists. What exactly did people see? Record if you want. I'm not being questioned twice. I sat back in my chair without the spike of pain I'd been expecting. Kate came around to stand in front of the second stuffed chair, opting to stay towering over me rather than sit beside me. I'm not trying to question you. So I can go? I leaned forward, paying for my drama with an ass-tensing spark of pain. I need to know... Know what? Gaining no wisdom, I stood with immediate regret, but stayed up. How to get rid of the humans downstairs? You're the one who allowed the invasion to begin. Midge, or do you need to know the 10 ironclad reasons you can't ship me off to become someone else's problem? Easy. We can start with the fuck who's after me knowing what I am, basically fucking guaranteeing that running ends with me dead, captured, or in the Sibyllary. My breath came in broken pants. Need to know if anyone's been acting suspicious? Haley Harper is the only name I can give you, and she's a human fucking teenager. Want to know what the fuck kind of flash snapped my rope? No fucking clue. Anything else before I free you from my presence and try to stop the Mrs. D's from deciding I need to own more shit? No? Great. I headed for the door. I don't know how to do this, Kate said. Red-hot barbed wire coiled around my gut as I turned to face her. Tears glistened in her eyes. I don't know how to protect the Sybil and parent the girl. Her voice fucking shook. I thought I could do it, but I don't know. She searched the wall behind me, scrambling for a solution to the monstrosity that I am. I can't hug you. Physical touch can trigger visions, so can speaking to you, being in the same room as you, and everything else in the fucking world. Don't smoke in a puddle of gasoline. Kate started to shake. All of her, like her soul had reached its max stress capacity. Don't. I offered her no lifeline. Trying to figure out who kidnapped you turns my path toward moments that do not belong in your visions. Keeping a safe distance is the best way to protect the Sybil in my care, but being present is the best way to help my friend's daughter. I can't do both. Curiosity won. What visions are you trying to protect me from? She closed her eyes and let out a slow breath. Kate. The coward opened her eyes, but still didn't look at me. I have to rule out erebite involvement in your kidnapping. My sphincter rocketed to my throat. And there is nothing in that world you need to see. Her heel drummed against the floor. My interacting with you increases the risk of erebites creeping into your visions. Visions create links, and I will not allow the cosmos to draw you toward those shadows. I can't. I had no argument. I didn't bother with hope either. Have you found anything? No, but that doesn't... Kate dragged her fingers through her hair. Erebites aren't the only problem. Our Ethereans in human law enforcement have found shit to do with your kidnapping, which leaves me clawing every corner for information because I'm not allowed to give up on finding the people who tried to steal Laurie's kid. Thanks. I couldn't make myself say it. I've finally convinced the Alexandrian Order to give me a meeting, and the fuck? Your uncle is coming with me. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. Uncle Declan? He's dealt with the Order before. You've been talking to him? What did he say? Nothing. A laugh caught in Kate's throat. She swiped a tear from her cheek. Declan can't find anything. About my family? About me? Fear kept me from asking either. I can't find anything, Kate said. And as long as we're searching, I am actively creating circumstances that, by all reasonable measures, should disqualify me from caring for a Sybil, let alone a teenage girl who's traumatized in ways I'm not equipped to deal with. I hated my wisp of pity. But being a shit guardian isn't as important as keeping you alive. Kate swiped another tear away as a detached facade swallowed her face. What else do I need to know about today? You should probably call Principal Harrison, and I don't know what time I'll be home from the Argo party. That's not, I have to go to the Argo. Something happens tonight. Yes, I had a fucking vision. Yes, I saw myself come out on the other side standing. And yes, I will fucking fight you in front of the humans if that's what it takes to get to that party and make sure my friend stays safe. Kate's hands curled back into white-knuckled fists. Even if places like the Argo weren't riddled with vision triggers, you can't almost die and then go to a party. I can't stay home and just hope my friend doesn't die. I stepped closer to her, daring her to back away. I don't know how it starts or how I help, but something is going down and Jason needs me there when it does. Kate shut her eyes, like even looking at me caused too much complication. In the vision, you're not hurt? I'm fine, and so is Jason. She nodded, prepping herself for battle. You can go, but I'm coming with you. No! Her eyes flew open as she snapped back into asshat mode. I won't stop you from helping Jason, but someone tried to hurt you in front of a horde of humans today. You're not going into another horde without me there. Fine. I headed for the door. But proximity rule keeps you on the street. Everything is going to happen inside. What exactly did you see? I heard Kate take a step to follow me, then stop, maintaining her distance. Tamping down the need to punch her fucking face, I slapped on a smile and pivoted toward her. By the way, Mrs. Dupuis is really worried about my lack of warm clothes and has decided I'm going on a shopping trip to Sagebrook whether I like it or not. You should probably figure that out with her. I tipped my head, my smile twisting into a sneer. Assuming I haven't been granted sudden freedom? I pivoted back toward the door, flipped the lock, and flung it open, storming down the stairs without considering my blatant limp or fight-reddened face. Paige waited for me at the bottom of the steps, coffee in hand, placid expression in place. We've decided to enjoy the rest of the desserts picnic style. She took my elbow, steering me away from the rumble of voices in the kitchen and toward the front door. We've got a picnic blanket and a chair, so whatever's more comfortable for you. She opened the door, grabbed my shoes, and yanked me outside hard enough to make me almost regret not asking Kate for healing help. We've also got ice packs, a footrest, and a lap blanket. You didn't have to do that. She snapped the door shut behind us. Sure I do. We're friends. Funny how you don't understand the amazingness of you. I didn't fight Paige's help as I went down the porch steps and sat on the bottom stair, letting her stay beside me while I took my time pulling on my shoes, watching Jason, Sydney, and Andre arrange plates of desserts on the red-checkered blanket laid out on the fall-browned lawn, dropping my phone on the left side of the steps, fishing in the weeds hidden beneath to find it. And then everybody dies. The end.
And everybody dies.
All right,
by
so
Megan O. Russell.
That was literally the working title of a book of yours once.
It was.
It was. So
the working title was Everybody Dies.
Yeah, the working title was literally Everybody Dies. All right.
You know what the funniest thing is?
Oh yeah, what? What's that?
Like all of 2 people died in that book. I titled that book Everybody Dies. And
No. Well, in that book, 3 people and then 1 disappeared through a rift.
Okay, but not that much. For titling it Everybody Dies, you would think I would kill
Wait, hold on. Didn't one of the centaurs also die?
Okay, lots of people. We're talking primary. Okay, so technically in the book that was labeled Everybody Dies.
There's a lot of death. There's a giant battle.
A whole bunch of people die, but only 3 characters you actually could have feelings for.
Oh, wow. How dare you? How dare you judge
that
my
I intentionally
range
tried
of empathy
to give you feelings for before I brutally slaughtered them.
Which, by the way, if you want to see a very worrisome video, go look at Megan's TikTok from Monday night, because, or technically early Tuesday morning, because those of us who are fans of Megan's work should be concerned. That's all. So, give me your thoughts on the chapter, author.
There's just, here's the thing. There are some chapters that are very important because, Ella fell and everyone saw it. And then there are some chapters that are very important because it's this is where we pocketed some seeds. Mm-hmm. This is a little seedy pocket.
It is a seedy pocket. There's a lot of stuff that's going to grow here. My first comment, by the way, has nothing to do with that.
No,
and everything to do with our fans that are across the pond. So what was this line supposed to be?
So this is when Mrs. Dupuis is going inspecting Ella's
literally
clothing.
took all of Ella's drawers out and laid out her clothes. What the fuck?
I mean, Ella doesn't have that much anyway, though. Ugh. If you're looking at what's laid on the
It's rude.
It's very rude. Well, it's not... Okay, it's rude, but it's very domineering mother, what the fuck is going on here? I'm done.
Yeah. I'm sure that Sydney's been saying all kinds of stuff about Kate and... No,
the thing is, Sydney hasn't been saying anything. So then all of a sudden they're wait, what the fuck has been going on in this house?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Which is why they all stormed over there. Because, what the fuck do you mean you can't get... she isn't there anyway? What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I see. So the all of a sudden absence of a parental figure when there's not ever really been a presence of a parental figure has made them go, oh, no.
Yes, and so they drive up to the house, and she's like, "So I'm sorry, you don't own a real, you don't have a parka? You don't have a fucking parka for the Adirondacks?
You need a parka for the Adirondacks?
A parka, a ski coat, like a glorified fall coat is not going to do it."
I love how you're like, the Adirondacks can be cruel, and it's like, yes, they fucking can.
Yes,
I've experienced it minimally.
No, you were in the foothills, bitch. No, like, I don't think you've ever, even when you came to visit where we lived in upstate, I don't think you ever were in a whiteout situation.
No, I've never experienced
a true whiteout.
I've experienced blizzards where the visibility has been awful, but it was mostly ice, not snow.
No. Like the Adirondacks, you get some whiteouts, man.
No,
yeah, it's brutal.
Never went through that.
But so the sentence originally was, "I didn't fight her reasonable logic or argue as she inspected the fabric of all my pants," which to Americans would be like leggings, jeans. But to people on the other side of the ocean would be underpants, which would be like...
Creepy.
My friend's mother came and inspected the lace of my thongs. Like, no. She, like, what
and
I wanted
her...
she
knows Victoria's Secret.
Which was why I transferred it to be like, okay, so it's not winter weight jeans. So she's looking at her pants and being like, this is... You cannot wear this to school in the winter.
Right. But she's
the
doing
same
it for
with the shirts. Yeah, so she's doing it for shirts instead of pants, and then doing it for jeans, so that it never looks like she's like feeling up Ella's underwear. Because going in and being like, no, show me what this disaster is, because you are not going to make it through a winter, is very different than let me feel up your underwear. That is a very different vibe.
It's one of the that's honestly the main reason it's not the main reason, but it is one of the many reasons that we are not in KU, because we do have a lot of readers that are overseas and so the fact that you are being cognizant of that and being like, okay, let me not make this
when
weird.
You accidentally include two Australian slang terms for vagina in one book without knowing it.
The quim or something? I don't remember.
I don't know, but they are not.
They're like, that's vagina.
We're and like, I was like, this is something I've never.
That? Like, I know fanny. I know that is...
Which, kind of makes sense, because it's just, transferred front to back, know.
Right.
But, yeah, so I'm very careful now, because I don't want to shove any accidental vaginas into my books.
The accidental vagina.
Unlike when I lived in Hell's Kitchen as a youth, we don't want any accidental vaginas.
My God.
Okay,
so the next one, Mrs. Dupuy continues. We can do brunch, a shopping spree, go to the salon, which is that in any way a bit of a, we need to get you a haircut, honey?
So Ella's hair isn't really So Ella got kidnapped, lit some shit on fire, has run through the woods several times. Her hair is kind of busted. The girl hasn't gotten a haircut in a very long time. Mm-hmm. She always keeps it back in a bun. She doesn't know what the back of her head looks like. Clearly, we proved that in book 1.
That's true.
And the mom's kind of like, ow. Because really, Ella hasn't, gone to get her hair cut and, fixed since her family died. So it's okay, we could, there is some things that could happen. So it's not like she has a thoroughly scorched mullet or something, but it's this girl has been through a lot, and we could fix this.
Speaking of mullets, can we please figure out why that's making a comeback? I'm confused. And the thing, what's weird about it is I'm seeing it on certain people and going, no, that fits you. And it's very strange to me, because being a 90s kid, I'm like, mullets didn't fit anyone. But all of a sudden, they're coming back into vogue.
Well, because I think people who look good with mullets are getting mullets instead of it being a cultural thing where
that makes sense.
Where you are marking yourself
because
with
never
a mullet.
would I ever have before been like, yeah, mullet, great hair choice. But I see it on some people and go, oh, that fits you.
Well, because it fits it.
It's weird, though.
But it got
It was too much.
Yeah.
I had a mullet. Didn't fit, especially not now. Should I get a mullet now? Okay.
It would just turn into duck butt. It would just he's curling in the back. Okay.
I love this part of the chapter, and I'm not stopping here. I'm going to move on to the next comment before we talk about it. But when Tish, or Mrs. Davis, is like, you need vegetables, and teenagers left to their own devices, da-da-da-da, and then Mrs. Dupuy comes out and goes, Tish, Mrs. Dupuy didn't say anything else, just stood in the doorway staring at Mrs. Davis, who stared right the fuck back for 5 anxiety-inducing seconds. So I commented on this and said, how long have the two of them been friends? And then, give me a second, we move on to the next comment, which is Andre saying, we pushed them to bond and created the monsters in the process. It's our responsibility to contain them. And I went, oh, okay, so they weren't friends before this, okay? Like,
no, but like,
Andre
if your kids are like, so we have this plan laid out, we're getting married, you are eventually going to share...
crazy.
You're going to share grandchildren and be at the same wedding. So, like, get your shit together. Like...
When did that talk happen?
That was, like, end of freshman year.
Wow, deciding you're to marry somebody at the end of freshman year. I know one couple who successfully did that and are still together.
Well, that's the thing, is that they're like, okay, so we're doing this.
And that couple is 100% perfect for each other too. So it's
so
like,
they like, no, we're
so
doing
cute.
this, and they just, if your kids lay that out for you, it's kind of like get in or get out. And they were like, guess we're doing supportive. Welcome. We're going to be growing old together. Let's be friends.
This is neither here nor there, but the guy that's the part of that couple is also like the best accompanist I've ever freaking worked with. You know what I mean?
That's
You got to work with him too, right? In college? Didn't he accompany you a couple of times?
Yeah.
So good. Such a great guy. And so sweet and so freaking smart. Okay. So shout out to him. His name's Jake. Shout out to Jake. Right. So there was a part of the chapter halfway through. She's here, Miss Blackwood. Jason's footsteps pounded toward the front door. And I said, where the hell has he been? Where the hell has he been, Megan? You allude to it earlier in the chapter, but it's not like black and white. This is what's happening. So
Mr. Paxman is just here for the ride. He doesn't want to be a part of a conflict. It's just the Mrs. D's were like, this is unacceptable. We are going up there. And he was like,
And for context, Mr. Paxman and Jason do have a relationship because Jason used to date Paige.
Yes.
And then Paige came out. So
And then Paige, like, they're still best friends. So like Jason
he still wanted to date her, right? It's just that she was like, yeah, no.
She's like, that's not gonna work out for me. So they're still besties. So like Jason is over there all the time. Jason is also like on track. Big buff dude. Like, way. So he's like, oh no, buff friend, where have you been sleeping this couch? Oh, well, we better talk about football while we're out here. Really worried about you sleeping on this. How much longer do you think they're gonna be in here? Because, you gotta take care of that bad back, Jason.
Yeah.
Like, so he is.
So Jason has been sitting there being the crutch for Mr. Paxman.
Yeah, Mr. Paxman is doing avoidance, and Jason is like,
that's very reflective of
men.
Of toxic masculinity. Although I don't think that Mr. Paxman is toxic masculine. I think that he is.
No, he is.
He's a product of that. Do you know what I mean?
No, this is not a toxic masculinity moment.
Feelings.
This is him being like, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
So he's just a fish out of water.
Yes,
okay.
But he is using a toxic masculine tactic to be like, and I'm just going to fucking avoid it by going into man world.
Which I feel like is the least toxic way to use that, to be honest. That's funny. Okay, moving on.
No, he is using a habit in a not the worst way.
Correct.
How's that?
Yeah,
How's that?
Yes. The Paige, when Kate's like, I got messages saying you fell and you didn't go to the hospital, but I was going to call you when your meeting ended at 4:30. And I wrote, salty ass bitch. Like Paige being like, no, I knew that you were in a meeting.
Well, the thing is, she has called. And she's like, I left messages. I was going to fucking call you again. Like, you got messages.
So that was Paige that left those messages?
Like, Paige has left messages. The school left messages. People left messages. So it's like, I left you a message. I was going to call you again. Don't run in here like you don't know what's happening.
And then right after that, Kate says, what? No. And Megan explained, can you explain this? Because this is a really interesting moment, and it shows a huge difference between the two Ethereans currently in the house.
So Kate didn't have a meeting down the mountain until 4:30. Like, that wasn't...
That was a lie.
Yeah, that wasn't happening.
But the what? No. Just that, the way that Kate is receiving the information from Paige and then responding to it, I think is so being like, telling.
I got out early.
Yeah.
Or like, I ran from the meeting.
Yeah.
Or like something like that. She's just like, what? No, I didn't have a meeting. Like, no, Ella.
Yeah.
Like, forgetting the lie for a moment, which was something that Ella has been so severely trained not to do.
Ella is very good at maintaining the lie, so it's so interesting. Also, I love, and we're going to talk about this in a second, how we finally get to see why Kate has been so absent. Because obviously, if you're paying attention, you knew that Kate was doing something. There was something that was pulling her away. There was a very specific reason that she was not there with Ella. And I had a feeling that it had something to do with the kidnapping and all of that, but it was really good to find out more about that. All right, so let's go. Before we get there, dialogue tags matter, kids.
And their placement can do so much.
They can. So Mrs. Dupuy, or Kate says, "I'm so sorry. Why are you in my house?" "Because Ella needed a responsible adult," Mrs. Dupuy said, "and you were nowhere to be found." And I was like, ooh, the way that you place that, like, that is such a burn, because she's saying, because Ella needed a responsible adult. And you weren't around. It's that whole, like, she's calling Kate not a responsible adult, but not really. It's so subtle. It's beautiful. But what happens if we move that dialogue tag? Because Ella needed a responsible adult, and you, Mrs. Dupuy said, were nowhere to be found. Then it becomes accusatory. Because Ella needed a responsible adult, and you were nowhere to be found. Then it becomes disappointment, right? Because Ella, Mrs. Dupuy said, needed a responsible adult. And that is, again, blaming, but it has a different intensity, a different context. It's so fascinating.
This is the kindest and most veiled, because Ella needed a responsible adult, and you were nowhere to be found.
But it's just something I think that readers, as readers, I don't think we really take into consideration enough.
Well, the thing is, when I put in, so our brains, I'm going to look at the camera. Oh, God, that's bright.
Do you need me to turn it down?
Yeah, it's too bright.
Turn it down. That's fine. Turn it down. That's okay. Look at that. Look at that. We got the power. Boy, I got my voice.
So sorry, migraines have been a bitch, y'all.
Yeah.
So wait, can you go back so I can see?
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. So because Ella.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you place a said, so the reason that authors have gone back to using said instead of being like queried, answered, like we are sticking to saidisms again, specifically said instead of like varying. Because people have realized that said, your brain just kind of treats it as punctuation. It becomes a long punctuation in your brain. So as an author, if I want a reader to take a breath in the sentence where I put a comma, most of the time it's not going to work. People like breeze past commas all the time.
Yeah.
But you don't breeze past a said. So if I really want the break in the dialogue to sit right there...
Yeah.
Then I put in the said, because that makes like a giant comma that bitches can't skip.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I love that bitches is the word of the day.
Look, bitches be bitchin'. I don't know. Okay, so we get to the first of 3 really big seeds that you plant, as far as I am concerned in this chapter. I have to rule out erebite involvement in your kidnapping. Okay, remind us, what are erebites?
Erebites are the other half of the coin of Ethereum. So, many moons ago, when the supernatural community was split at the end of the dragon's time. So as the dragons were dying out, it was sort of one of those, do you want to hide in the shadows or do you want to hide in plain sight? Mm-hmm. The dragons took the supernatural races that they wanted to be part of the light, that they thought were worthy, all that good shit, offered them to all to come together and to basically swap part of their supernatural strength, power, being to be able to pass in human spaces so that they could hide in plain sight and exist that way, because the dragons weren't going to be there to protect the supernatural creatures.
Right.
The other side of that is sort of the non-passing creatures who have been forced for so long to stay in the dark that they have kind of become a dark dwelling society, even though there could be some good places, good people among it.
Right.
So that's the erebites. We're going to talk about like necromancers. We're going to be talking about like the darker kinds of witches, that like the lamia, things like that. Like people who call upon other powers like that aren't theirs in order to do witchcraft. So they are kind of betraying that bond and pulling power from bad places transforming themselves into not what witches should be.
Which makes them more powerful. Yeah.
But in that, you're creating something unnatural, so you're twisting yourself into something that is going to really, really ping that fucking uncanny valley. Like, you are not going to be able to exist in society. Shadows are going to follow you. You're not going to be able to pass.
Do we get to see more of that in the Sagebrook series?
That is...
You can't tell me.
You are going to see more of that.
Okay. All right. That's good enough for me. Okay, cool. I'm excited for that. So, number 2, Uncle Declan making a reappearance. Can you talk briefly about Uncle Declan? Because then I want to get into this.
So, Uncle Declan is... Lamia also, like, exist in and of themselves. So, like, you can be born a Lamia. You can, like, try to become one of them.
Oh, shit. Okay.
For a witch, like, you can, like, become a devotee and, like, do their things to, like, try to...
To, like, ascend?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, there are people who are born into it, and then there are people who, like, become... almost like cultish-y followers to gain that kind of power to blah 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 blah.
You see that kind of stuff in Skyrim. Ugh, I wish that you played more.
So does that make sense? Like, there are some people who are born that twisted kind of witchy magic, but then there are others who are clawing toward it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So there's a difference between like a Hecatian witch who's like pulling for it, and then like a natural born. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sorry.
So the Hecatians are they achieve that unnaturally.
No.
Oh, okay.
Most achieve it naturally.
Okay.
There are chasers.
Okay.
Because that is the split that happened of like some didn't, some did.
Okay.
So that is their genetically closest thing that they can try and transform themselves into what they would have been.
Okay.
Sans split.
Okay.
So it's like witches chasing that more pure supernatural version of themselves.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Sorry, that was really complicated, and I was I just explained that wrong, and that's gonna fuck up the mythology in the long run. Of like, they are born that way.
Okay.
People who are born normal Etherean witches, some obsess over this fact that they were stripped of some powers and could be stronger.
Oh, I see. So okay. So then a witch that is born erebites would have this ability naturally?
Witches are not born erebite.
Oh, shit.
Hecadians, Lamia are born erebite. Witches are what did not go that way.
But there are witches that can dive deep enough into all of that they can become that.
They're trying to revert back to that other state.
But are they the only ones that can do that? Or are they the only ones that can go against their Etherean nature?
I mean, you can try. Like, werewolves can try and do, like, stupid shit to soup themselves up.
But it's not ever going to be So, no, what I mean is, like, can an Etherean witch fully realize what they would have been if they were not born Etherean?
Not by natural means.
So, so then a werewolf could also follow that same course? Not
really.
Okay, so then...
In the same way, because their bodies are too different. Okay. Witches' physical forms didn't change. So, like, a werewolf, in order to grab enough power to be able to transform into a full wolf... This is
fascinating to me, yeah.
Outside of the full moon, like, they're not a witch. Okay. What are they going to do to get and hold that much power to be able to do that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that would be, like, you would have to have outside involvement in it.
Sure.
A witch trying to become their originator's form, they have magic that they can do something with. So they, like, have a tool to strive for that.
Okay.
That other races do not have.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does,
And it's also one of those, like, a lot of races, like, no werewolf stayed behind. All werewolves are Etherean.
But not all vampires are.
All vampires are Etherean.
Okay. All right. I don't know why I keep wanting to make vampires erebite.
Now, there are other erebites that drink blood.
Sure.
But they aren't vampires.
Okay. They're just vampiric in nature, but not vampires.
Yeah, there are too many bloodlines and witches that went too many ways, so not all of them became Etherean.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. That's old magic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that was a side quest.
that was a side quest. Hold on, let me check here because there are a couple of things I want to talk about, and I want to see because I think that other one I want to. Oh, okay. What is going to happen between Kate and the normies? Like, does Kate actually feel bad about any of this? Like, is she going to be made to feel guilty about any of this? Are the humans going to have any kind of effect on the way that she sees, the way that she deals with Ella? Is she going to learn something? And what I wrote was, Megan, at least tell the people what the convo is going to be like, because I'm assuming we're not going to see it. You're not going to even say that?
The convo is going to be 3 parents going after someone who is younger than them and has been parentified for like 6 weeks? Something like that?
Oh my God, it's been a really short time. Yeah, I forget
Going after her for not doing her job right and her being like, I'm fucking trying.
Yeah, and she's what, 34 or something? Or is she 40?
No, she would be like 38.
I feel like we never actually name her age. We never say her age.
She would be like 38.
Okay, so her late 30s. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay, 2 things left. One, I'm going to do this one first. When she says Declan can't find anything, Kate tells Ella Declan can't find anything, and Ella's immediate first thought is about my family. And I was like, oh shit, way to bring that back around.
Well, because Uncle Declan has been on this hunt looking for who killed his fucking brother and mother.
Right. Oh, that's right. That was his mother. That's right.
It was his mom
Ella's
and his
gram.
brother were murdered.
Yeah.
Also his brother's wife. And now his brother's child, who he's not really happy about having around, has been attacked. So of course
Right.
Uncle Declan is going to be like, well, now I have to look into what the fuck is happening to her now, because if someone's trying to kill her now, this could be related to who killed my brother and my mother. So that's why he's jumping on the bandwagon with Kate now, because it's like, well, if this is connected to who killed my family, I have to find out.
Yeah.
So he's still really not that interested in helping Ella, but like he's
That's
really
fine.
like this fucker.
Was it
but-
his kids or is it Uncle Donovan's kids who she like ran around with growing up?
Uncle Donovan.
Oh, okay. Uncle Declan doesn't have kids.
Uncle Declan does not have kids.
He's a loner. Lone wolf?
He is.
Oh my God. Please tell me we get to see his story at some point. Holy shit. That would be so fucking awesome.
I have so much to write, but no, like he is like, if you want to picture a sexy werewolf out for vengeance, just living his bar to bar loner life, that is him. Is
Okay.
on a 1 million crusade,
Okay.
has killed many, many people on the way,
Sure.
and is nowhere near done.
Cool.
So he's just like a loner werewolf trying on a mission, living his best murdery life.
So we've brought back Uncle Declan.
Mm-hmm.
We've brought into this the erebites, which yes, you talked about a little bit last book, but we really see the erebites more, at least mentioned more in Laurie's story, which if you haven't caught up on that, that was a little mini season that we did in between books 1 and 2. I believe that it went back to like May,
Yeah,
June.
they're all
so,
like,
yeah.
the label of them is In
It's
Other
different.
Words for
Yeah,
Fun.
In Other Words for Fun is the
Yeah.
name of it, although it's Laurie's
could you
story.
link
We all
that?
know it. Yes, I will
There
absolutely
you
link that. Okay, this is a part where that little book that my sister got me for Christmas would be really helpful to be
yeah.
like, oh, let's write that down. But there is a new thing that you have never mentioned before, ever.
It has been mentioned. It has not
Kind
been
of
mentioned in this
in
book.
picture book form-ish.
No, and in lore.
Has it?
Yes.
As the Alexandrian Order?
No, it was not named.
Thank you
But the
very much.
essence of it was
Don't
there.
you... Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay, all right. But the Alexandrian Order. So this is a huge thing that you have just introduced. And I want you to explain, like, as best you can, briefly, what are they?
Okay, so what had happened was... So this goes back to more erebite and dragon time, which is why I'm like, there's a lot of lore in this. So... before the split between the erebites and Ethereans, so this is still like all supernatural is one community then.
Yes.
The Library of Alexandria had, because the Library of Alexandria was more like what we think of a university than a library.
Okay.
So like people were studying, people...
Is that an actuality or in
No,
your
that's
world?
real.
That is
Like
real. That's what I thought.
because there
but I
were
just
like
wanted to make sure.
scholars and people were teaching classes and
Well, because
there
there
were
are
books.
parts where this becomes fictional, so I just wanted to make
No,
sure.
it does mirror.
Yes.
Although in this version, instead of like different wars taking it out slowly,
It's all
dragons
taken out by
took it
dragons,
out.
yeah. Which is probably what actually happened.
True. So dragons took it out.
Yeah.
Because there was too much proof of the supernatural. The supernatural knowledge of it was becoming common. Humans were spreading. It was getting too dangerous for the supernatural community. They needed to push them back into the realm of myths and legends for safety's sake. So they burned the Library of Alexandria, get rid of all the proof.
Mm-hmm.
In that burning, some artifacts, books, etc. were saved.
Yes.
Now, they weren't all saved by one person. It's a massive, scholarly, complex burning, so different people saved different things and ran different directions, which is, I think, realistically what would happen.
I'm
and
sure
if you
that
knew
did happen, too.
everything was going to get burned, you wouldn't be like, hey guys, I got my stash over here. So with that split, several different organizations had that information.
Okay.
One of them, a group that also took the keystone from the Library of Alexandria and the 4 cornerstones, which had been infused with a shit ton of magic by dragons breathing fuck on it. They took all that and created the building that is for the Alexandrian Order. Now, the Alexandrian Order is their kind of like their book. They keep books safe, but they also find artifacts that need to be taken. But they also do research. But they also, in their own way, help to keep the supernatural suppressed by removing things that should not be open to the public.
So would they in any way be involved with, let's say that you have an Etherean witch trying to become a Lamia? Is that what you said?
It would only be like, do they have something that we need to take from them and preserve?
So otherwise they wouldn't get involved.
No, because if
that would
it's
be
not
more Reaper
that,
territory.
like if someone's just fucking around a lot,
That's Reapers.
Then that's the Reaper's problem.
Okay.
If there is something in this situation that they think needs to be preserved,
Yeah.
like a book, an artifact,
Yeah.
something that they don't want the Reaper. Like if you're just fucking around, fuck it, let the Reapers take you. That's not our goddamn problem.
Oh, okay. Okay, wow.
But if it's like this person got their hands on this thing,
Yeah.
and we need to get that shit back and keep it safely so that it's not destroyed and removed from knowledge for all time.
So they're literally, it's very akin to like librarians, like or museums. It's like, nope, Indiana Jones-ish, like we have to get this back.
It is very Indiana
Keep
Jones,
it,
where
yeah.
it's like, if we don't get in there and take this
going to be
artifact, this book, this spell, whatever, is going to be lost.
It belongs in a museum.
Because the Reapers they will destroy and blank it all out. That information, that artifact,
Okay.
it is gone.
Okay. Do the Reapers know about the Order and do they let them have a chance at it?
They haven't done anything wrong enough to be murdered.
Okay. All right.
That's the thing, is that the Reapers don't just go in and kill people for fun. Like, they're not going to go wipe out everyone who was in the high school just because Ella fell.
Right.
They're going to be like, is Laureldale becoming a problem? Is this spreading? Now it's our problem.
Okay.
So it's like, they will let you self-contain. They will even let human hunters come in and kill you to suppress you if they think that'll be faster.
Wow.
Like, if you do something and a human hunter is coming after you for vengeance,
that's so interesting.
if they're going to burn the body afterwards, that's not our problem.
So they're legit the last-ditch effort to just
They
keep
are,
the secret.
Yes.
Okay.
They will only show up if it is worth blanking out people like the old woman in the corner of the gym who might have seen a flash. They're not going to show up unless she has to go too.
Wow. Okay.
So if they show up, everybody is gone.
Wow. Holy shit.
They will cut off the limb to save the body.
God bless.
No questions asked.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after that light bit of information,
welcome to the Laureldale universe.
that ends my questions. Now, I do want to say that we were talking about this earlier, just actually a couple hours before recording this, and I was like, you know, a lot of podcasts kind of take a holiday. We're not going to do that. What we are going to do, however, look, we're millennials. We don't feel comfortable unless we are making progress in something. It's an unfortunate fact of the generation. So
I'm not allowed to have self-worth if I'm resting.
Correct. So what we are going to do, can you actually explain it? What we're doing for next week?
So what we're doing is I have wanted to, writing in like an academic voice is very hard for me because my brain thinks closer to Ella's brain.
Yeah.
So like,
and Bryant, Ella and Bryant, that's your voice.
So like doing academic writing is not my jam, man. But I have wanted an academic style, just like series of brief essays, like lining up the Laureldale history, because there is so much more to it.
Yeah,
so
no
like
kidding.
the Hecatians, and like all of that.
I think it's Hecatian.
Who are over there, and like everything that's happened with
Hecate.
Alexandria and like the place of the Reapers. So I really want to have that all lined up because it is so much world building, and I'm like, if I'm gonna come up with this, I want it to be out in the world in some form. Fuck it. So what we're gonna do is Chris, I am making him become a published author, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, here we go.
So what we're doing, and we have been planning to start this forever, and we have started it. It's just now I'm gonna make him actually do it and do it publicly.
Correct.
I'm going to tell the oral history of like, okay, like we just did here, like this is what exactly the library or the Order of Alexandria does. And this is how like Alexandrian Order does. And this is what like the Library of Alexandria and how it led to it. So do that. And then he's going to write it out in a series of brief academic style essays. So that we can have that. So next week's episode, rather than so that if you're traveling, you can like skip the week and you'll be picking up right on the story.
You'll want to come back to this though.
Yeah. So next week's episode is going to be all about the world building, a lot deeper than what we did now. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be reading Chris's writing of the essays so that we can have all of that on record. And what I want to do is eventually I want to compile a book that's like the notes of, and have it be someone from the Alexandrian Order who has been keeping notes on this. So that eventually that will be able, I love how I can actually look at the phone now.
I know, right?
So that eventually I'll be able to compile it all into one big book, or novella style book probably, that can be like, okay, here is the Laureldale world lore. Like everything you want to know in this academic, easy to read, here it is in paragraph form style. So I'm making him do it, and he's going to become a published author in the Laureldale series.
Eventually, I want it to have illuminated text.
I love that.
We'll hire Adriel when we find
Well, what I want to do is get the U.S. map and actually mark out where each of the fucking packs are.
Oh, interesting.
So then we could have that map in the book.
That would be cool.
And we're creating him an avatar so that he knows who he's writing from, so that we can have the name.
Because I am an actor.
Of like the notes of, and create the name for this. So we're going to be creating a character that he is keeping this diary of history from the point of view of, and I'm really excited about that.
It's like a reverse Tuckerization. I'm becoming a character in the book. You're not naming
a
character in the book after me. I'm becoming.
You are becoming a character in the book, and that is how we're going to do it. And I'm really, really excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. So look forward to that next week. And was there anything else that you wanted to share before we sign off?
Oh, if you are listening to the audio version of this, check out my social media, because I will show you a picture of my first version of a dragon.
It's so cool.
I'm doing it. I like acrylic paint because you do it. Okay, so I don't use any stencils. That's not what I mean. But you do it like one layer at a time. So like you do the background of the dragon, and then you do this part of the dragon. And so I really like that. So it's a very basic dragon.
It's very Photoshop, because Photoshop works with layers. So that's kind of what this is.
So it's very like start with putting away your socks.
You're creating all of it.
Oh no, I freehand it all, and I made it all up.
Which is awesome. Like those curves are so good.
Well, the thing is, you get to do it with your pencil first.
Sure,
so
but I can't do curves that are that. Oh, I see what you're saying. My curves are also, which your sister, the art professor, by the way, says that is an actual style of sketching. But when I'm doing stuff, if I make curves, it's actually multiple lines that I'm doing.
Yeah. No, you can do that. Yeah. But then you make one smooth one, and then you paint over it, so nobody knows there were more. That's why I love this shit so much. Looks like I did that all in one stroke. Hell no, that was a bunch of shit.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I like this. No one can see your eraser marks. It's fun. But anyway, if you want to see those, then I will post some pictures on social media or like a video or something so you can see that. Do check out the upcoming events. There's Vado this weekend if you are in the Orlando area. Right. Next
Central
week,
Florida Comic Con
if you skip for Christmas because you're busy, do go back to that episode eventually, because Chris is going to be doing his world lore, and I'm so fucking excited to be the reader and the interviewee.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, I'm so excited. anyway, so I'm very thrilled. Tune in next week. If you are only listening in audio form and you're like, video could be fun, then check out Facebook, YouTube, and Substack.
Yes, and
are
Substack.
the places that you can find the video.
Correct.
If you are on any of those platforms, please do like, follow, subscribe. That goes for the podcast pages too. So just people know that the algorithm knows that people like us. If you are looking to purchase any of my books, please do remember to shop direct for me or any other indie author so that you can help support a small business. So your favorite author, check out their website. See if you can purchase books direct from them. That is my plug for the indie author small business community.
Yep. Megan actually just did the same for my little sister. She got a couple of signed copies directly from the author.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, she is so cool.
I know the author of one of his sister's favorite books, so I messaged her on Instagram and was like, "Can I get some signed copies?"
Yeah, because they've worked together at events and stuff. So
and
it was really
I
fun.
did, and I'm a badass. But yeah, any author, like a lot of authors, you can purchase directly from them, and you get signed copies or special swag or all kinds of stuff. So if you are a book lover, try to purchase directly from the authors if you can, because it cuts billionaires out of the cycle, helps small business, and you usually get something way cooler out of it too.
Yeah, and I know you do this, but you just talked a lot, so I'm taking over. So wherever you listen, get your podcast, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, anything to let the algorithm know that you're enjoying us. And until hopefully next week or maybe after the holidays, thank you for reading.